let's say if your average jobs you do a week is 10, and you're doing those 10 jobs at, let's just say, well, easy numbers, 5K. Okay, well, that's 50K a month or a week, right? So you're doing that. And if you job cost that and you're at, let's just say, 35% gross margin, that it does not account, gross margin does not account your truck payments, your insurance, your workman's comp, your electric bill, your phone bill, your rent, your mortgage on the business, all that. So next thing you know, that 35% becomes a negative 20 or negative 10%, and you're actually in business losing money. So you have to teach people that when they're bidding, to come up with an average amount of jobs that they're doing to account for job costing on the fixed bills that they have. And when you do that, so you come up with, let's say rent and everything else comes, I'm just gonna say all your other bills come up to $20,000 a month. Well, that's $5,000 a week, right? But I have to account now for 5,000 if I'm going to take the 10 jobs. So I've got to account for $500 in fixed bills inside of my job costing. So when you do that, and then by the way, you can only plan. You don't know how many jobs you're going to do exactly every month, every week. So you have to plan on what your average is to kind of come up with that number. And if you would know, if you're having a light week, you might raise it up to 100 or 750 instead of 500 for each job. And if you're having a busy week, you might take it down to 300. You kind of know, because you know the number to play with, to try to help yourself get to a gross margin of at least 45 to 60%. But because your employees don't know about all this stuff, and you've got to figure out what you want to get on gross margin so that you can account for all this stuff. So most businesses try to do a 50% gross margin. And so I've seen businesses up to 65% gross margin. And so making tons of money. And then I've seen guys that aren't making any money, and their gross margin is probably around 30 to 35% because they didn't know any better.